easily pay back the installment. Now at present, all these banks and other institutions, they are extending loans up to 5 years, 7 years only, and it is very hard, very difficult for the farmer to take out that much of money from the sale of milk to pay back the installment, and he comes under the pressure, and then he defaults on the payment of the installment. Similarly, for the purchase of animals and working capital. Now, this working capital is not the need of the farmer only up to the time he sets up the farm, or till the duration the limit or the period for which he is given the loan. Working limit he needs even after that, like any other industry or any other business. Now, this genetic operation, we have to go into the details of this income tax. You will be surprised to know that dairy farming, a dairy farmer has to pay income tax. Now, if it's a part of agriculture, and agriculture is exempted from income tax, then how can we ask the dairy farmer that he should pay the income tax? And secondly, record keeping. Now, even if the income is more than, let's say, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh, but dairy farmer can't keep all those records of the expenses and the sale of milk and the labor, fodder growing, everything. So this issue has been taken up, and hopefully we are trying to convince that the dairy farming should be exempted from the payment of income tax. Cattle feed control order. If a dairy farmer who is having a dairy farm of bigger size, he wants to produce his own cattle feed, he has to get himself registered as a small scale industry with the industry departments of the state. Then only he will get a power connection. Then whatever the rate for the power he has to pay, that is equivalent to what is charged from an industry. And secondly, then he comes under the Essential Commodities Act and all sort of those, inspections and the checking controls, etc. So what we are demanding now is that it should not be made applicable to them. There is a clause for exemption. A dairy farmer should be exempted from this cattle feed control order, so that he doesn't get harassed and he can manufacture, he can make his own feed, and then he can feed his animals. Otherwise, he comes in with this cattle feed control order. Now, purchase rate. Now, like I mentioned to you, that this time the purchase rate, instead of going up, when the cost of production has gone up 20 to 25% than last year, but the purchase rate has come down to 20 to 25%. There is a big gap now, and dairy farmers are now under a lot of stress. So if this continues another 1 year or 2 years, so our milk production is going to go down, and we might have to import more, milk powder from, let's say, Australia or New Zealand, and they will have to feed the nation by reconstituting the milk, or by adding this milk powder in the fresh milk. All of you must have heard about this. This act came into force. It's a central act passed by Parliament in 2006, but it has been made applicable from August last year, and 1 year period was given. So from this August, I think I have extended further for 6 months. So this will be applicable. Now, any dairy farmer anyone who is dealing with the food, and milk is a food, he has been termed as a food business operator. Now, any milk producer who will be producing even 1 liter, 2 liter, 3 liters of milk, he will have to get himself registered with the authority, or with the state level authority, or at the district level. Otherwise he will not be able to handle the milk. We had licensing of milk, that you will be knowing. And in 92 only, till 92, nobody could set up any milk plant in the country without a license or without a prior approval of Government of India. So then it was de-licensed in 92. Then we had something known as MMPO, Milk Marketing and Procurement Order. So that has also been washed out. So with this this Food Safety Standards Act coming into force. Now, registration has been made mandatory. Under these regulations, if the turnover is less than 12 lakh, one has to get himself registered. If it's more than 10 lakh, it's a license. I don't think there is any other food for which you have to get this. So this, at least for the dairy farmer. So what we are going to request is that dairy farmer, that is handling of milk, he is producing milk, but he is not manufacturing milk. Only thing is he is feeding the fodder or the ingredients to the animal, and it's coming in a natural way from the udder of the animal. He is not doing any manufacturing process. So there is need not to, this made mandatory for him to get a license for this. Another very interesting thing to know, if a milk producer is selling milk to a cooperative society, then he need not get himself registered or licensed. If he is not selling to a cooperative society, then he has to get this license. I don't know what is the logic behind it. Why to discriminate between a farmer and a farmer? Or maybe somebody at the higher level, so they are just trying to force the farmer that we should not be able to sell it to any other, other than the cooperatives. Now here is the one point in which I think we bring it on the notice of the NDRI, and they are expecting that here you can help a lot, at least to the milk producers. Now, like in the cow milk, when these status were laid down earlier, prior to coming to this Food Safety Act, we had PFA, the Prevention of Food Nutrition Act. So it has been included in the Food Safety Act. Now earlier a cow of Punjab, Haryana or Chandigarh, the standard of cow milk is 4% fat, 8.5% SNF. Now cow of Himachal or UP or let's say Uttarakhand or other states, the standard of fat is 3.5%. And if you go towards north or to, let's say, to Jharkhand, the standard of cow milk is 3% fat. So something very strange. Maybe the logic would be that because earlier when we didn't have these crossbred cows, earlier we had the desi cow. So maybe those standards were made at that time. But there is a need to review those standards so that now it's very difficult to have the standard of 4% fat in the cow's milk, especially in the crossbred. So that's why you still have your own herd. So I don't know what is the fat percentage of that herd. Even here, what we need is the help of the NRI, at least to carry out some survey. And to
what is the average that you get in your farm, the fat and etc.?
Some 15% of crossbred animals, particularly in Holstein, crossbred with Holstein region, this fat content is less than 4%.
Less than 4%. What is the average fat and SNF of your herd?
SNF,
just
average is okay.
What is that?
For the herd, I think it is 4.67. Is it something?
Yes, sir. Average is well above 4. But if you take individual cows, it is.
And corresponding SNF?
SNF is also
More than 8.7.
So this will depend upon the two main factors. One is the genetic, that the percentage of the exotic blood. If less than 50% or 60% or 70%. So as the percentage of exotic blood goes up, the fat percentage comes down. Another factor is the feeding.
To answer the dairy farmer, I think if this is taken care that we see actual, what is the ground reality, what is the average fat in a particular village, if 100 bottles of milk, what is the fat SNF for that and for crossbred, the kind in North India we have, what is the fat in CLR and corresponding SNF. If this is relooked and revised,
what is the
otherwise
fat in the SNF content in your herd?
See, it will again depend upon the,
It must be more than 4, sir. No?
No,
Fat.
less.
Less than 4.
See, late lactating animals, when you have the mixed herd, or immediately, after calving, let's say,
But
the
then-
first 100 days.
Then there is no end. Means how much low we can go.
See, when you are specifying the standard, you have to say the minimum. You should not have less than this.
So minimum is
The minimum, if we say it should be later as 3.5, then we will always, let's say, if it comes to 3.8. So naturally, your milk will qualify that standard.
Doctor, I have a suggestion here that what is the problem that in North India especially, that buffalo milk, if there are no cows, even then, even Nestle is procuring 80% cow milk from the area where there are not more than 20% cow milk available. So this problem can be solved if we recommend to Government of India that there should be legislation or regulation that nobody will purchase mixed milk, nobody will sell mixed milk. If he is selling cow milk, the fat percentage should not be less than 3.5 and CRR should not be less than 30. That is as per the different formula. The base price for cow milk and for buffalo milk, fat should not be less than 6.5 and CRR should not be less than 29. Because if you see milk 100 buffaloes, you will find the CRR of that milk will be between 29 to 31. And the total North India is purchasing, the private sector is purchasing 4% fat and 6% SNF milk and treating that this is milk. But actually it is not milk. No buffalo or cow will produce milk with 4% fat and 6% SNF. Whereas 90% of the dairy plants in commercial in North India, they are purchasing this composition of milk. And if you see from CLR point, it contains about 40% of water. So that 40% water is transported from village to chilling center to plant, and then when they make powder and ghee, we are making the whole operation uneconomical for the.
So actually, that is what I am saying. That is the fear. If we lower the standard, the farmer will be tempted to add water.
No, we don't know. I think what needs to be done, if it is cow milk, it should not be if the CLR is a rider. So then he cannot reduce. It is not that cow will produce 7% fat milk or buffalo will produce 3% fat milk. So long we are allowing mixed milk to be sold and purchased, this problem is continuing for last 6 decades. And it is now, it has achieved, reached an alarming proper. And water that gets into milk is polluted water. So that means on quality front, we are going down day by day, and we will not be able to export anything that is produced in India if this continues. And our objective of having interaction with you, because you are a national institute and all these specifications, if you tell the Government of India what is the ground reality, we want that there should be no additional added water in cow milk or buffalo milk. And if you put these two riders that fat percentage for cow milk should not be less than 3.5 and CLR not less than 30, and for buffalo milk fat not less than 6.5 and CLR not less than 29. And if his SNF is more, he should be paid more, because Amul is getting, I tell you, Amul is getting, buffaloes are going from Punjab and they produce 9.4, 9.6 SNF there. And here in Punjab, they are purchasing milk with 8.2 as SNF. It is not possible. So the whole milk is milk being transacted, purchased by dairy plant, sold by individual or a group, is all diluted and manipulated. And I said that what is manipulation? Manipulation is you have 100 kg standard buffalo milk, you take out 20 kg milk out of it, add 20 kg water. And then repeat this again. You take out from that mixed milk of this composition, you take out another 20 kg milk and add another 20 kg. And when you repeat it 3 times, the ratio in which we have 60-40, that becomes 40-60. And 20 kilo milk becomes, 20 kilo water becomes milk and gets paid as milk. And that is what I have highlighted, that 100 crores worth of water is paid as milk. What is the ultimate result is that the producer is not getting remunerative price, consumer is getting unsafe milk. So this is our prime request to you, that if you can go into this exercise and come to the rescue of the farmer and consumer, I think our visit will be fruitful. In fact.
So another point concerning with this is that, see, when we have this raw milk and the pasteurized milk, now the standards are different. Let's say that raw milk for cow and buffalo milk. Then we have the whole milk, standardized milk, the tone milk, double tone milk, skim milk. Now, this impression is in the minds of the consumer that whether I should consume the tone milk or double tone milk or skim milk, or as advised by the doctor, that you should not take the high fat milk. Now, this purchasing of milk, buffalo milk and cow milk, and then mixing it, and then standardizing it into various grades. Now, from consumer's point of view, I don't know whether I as a consumer should buy toned milk or double toned milk or standard milk, which is good for me, because the industry has after standardizing, they have fixed the